Okay, this is the American Brothers Designs oil catch can for the 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi. This is a 2023 Hellcat. Okay, so first thing you want to do is pop this guy off. There's just two little rubber grommets there. It pulls straight up. So this pulls straight up off the engine. And those little rubber grommets, they seat into this pin right here and into this pin right here. If those rubber grommets, if it ever becomes kind of difficult to put that on, you can put silicone grease, like plumber's silicone grease, onto the rubber, and then it'll slide very nicely onto these things. So here we have the vacuum hose, right, for the crankcase. Goes into your air intake manifold here. There's a button right here. You push this button in, and once you push it in, then you can slide the hose off. And then once you've slidden that hose off, rotate the hose, and what you'll see here is let's see if I can get in on there. You'll see this little clip, and this little clip right here, you just move it this way. So you move it that way, and then whoop, there it goes. It pops off pretty quick. So there it is, right? And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna install our short hose from this tube into the capture can, and then the long hose will go from here up into the front side of the capture cam. Okay, so short hose connects on here. The bolt, this is the bolt right here that we're going to use to install the arm, the retaining arm for the capture can. So you can see how that kind of mounts right down in there. So just kind of zoom on that. There's two kind of threaded standoffs or screw shafts that come out the back, and that's just to keep the bracket from tipping either left or right. If you don't have it tightened down all the way, or for some reason it backs out, it's not gonna tip. What I did here is I actually used the factory, so the white clip there, that's the factory right there. And then here we have the black factory nozzle right there as well. So this is how I ended up running the hoses. The short hose that comes with the kit, this one right here, runs on the back side of the capture can and goes into that white fitting there, which goes into the intake. This is the longer hose right here. We have it coming from this black fitting and just running right up into this guy here. These are the short billet aluminum hose ends. The short ones go into the capture can or on the capture can side. And the longer ones, they have larger inner diameter holes. These larger ones hook up into your valve cover here and into the intake manifold. So that's kind of how it looks. It's pretty legit, right? And the logo that's on here, right? You can customize that. You can customize the color scheme. This is the factory hose. And I just use the heat gun like this. I just use the heat gun to slowly kind of hold this over, rotate it, heat it up a little bit, just to soften this plastic so that I could remove the black and the white clip-on nozzles from this guy and install that. The other thing that I actually had to do so that we don't have any rubbing whatsoever is I just had to shave this down right here. I had to shave that down just a little bit, right? And I just used the Dremel to do that. I just kind of hollowed this out a little bit right here. It still looks like, if you look at it, you're like, well, it looks pretty good. I did a pretty good job on it. But I had to shave that out just a little bit so that I wouldn't get any rubbing. If anybody, has a video on a better way to route these hoses than the way that I've done it here, let me know. So the dipstick comes out right here, and you can see, right? We still have pretty good clearance, like from, where the dipstick pulls out to, the hoses. So it's not It's not too bad. Let me show you how this thing goes back in here. So this guy goes back in kind of like this. Clip, clip, push it down, push it down. And then you'll see how that kind of sits in there, right? So you can see I just got maybe like 2 or 3 millimeters of clearance. So it's not vibrating or rubbing on the fitting right here. And then the other thing to note too, right, is like this bracket, right? If we go totally plumb on this bracket, so it's perfectly vertical to the earth, then this one right here comes a little bit too close to the supercharger, and it's like, you know, almost like touching the supercharger, right? Or basically touching, right? So I wanted to have like a little bit of clearance. I think I got about a 1/4 inch gap here. So if you were to put like a level on top of this thing, it's gonna be kind of like, you know, kind of going up in like this direction. Generally, I'm very happy with it. And after about 800 miles of operation, you'll end up with the catch can about 1/4 to 1/3 full. But if you're really, you know, hammering on it, then maybe half full on the catch can. So you want to check that about every 800 to 1,000 miles and just kind of unscrew it and take a look to see where you're at and empty it out if you need to empty it out. But generally, it's a pretty good kit. Like, I'm happy with it, you know, so it's pretty legit.